All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Uh, I'm Adewale Timothy, and this is 14 days of mental repositioning. So we've come a not so long way, but we've come a distance, and we've gone through quite a number of things. Quite a number of things from day one, day two, three, four, five, and here we are at day six. So we're looking at something very crucial today, and it's unlike what we looked at the previous day. Should I say it's like a contrast? So the last time I told you, think think today, not yesterday. All right, I told you think yesterday, today, not yesterday. But today now I'm saying think tomorrow, not today. So what exactly would this mean? What exactly would this be? So I want to start again from that statement that I made the last time. The statement I made before. That's the previous day. I said, that's from a quote. Yesterday is history. Today, tomorrow is a mystery. And today is a gift. So it's called present. Think about it for a second. Okay, just before I go into this, I remember that Russian. So I want to welcome you. I want to let you know that you are watching a video that's going to supply you with actionable steps, what you can do. And also, these topics that we discuss are a contrast, or let me say, a comparison between inferior mindsets and superior mindsets. That is, you learn to drop off what doesn't help as much and pick up what helps so much. So this is what it's all about. It's all about that. It's where I'm just dishing out and helping you um, give you a better framework, all right, that helps you have a better mindset. So as you listen through, one thing that's going to be happening is that you would see direct implementations. That is, you will see areas where you can implement this directly, right? And that's what this is about. So we're looking at think tomorrow, not today. Think tomorrow, not today. And I already started with that quote. So it says that yesterday is already history. Yesterday has happened and nothing can be done about what has happened. It's gone already. That is, yesterday was Sunday. Yesterday was 2 minutes ago. Yesterday was some moments before I came here. Every single thing that has happened up until now cannot be undone, right? Cannot be undone. What can happen is that going forward, I can make better decisions. So if that is something, if that's anything to go by, it simply means that rather than we stay fixated in our present and our past, there is something we ought to look onto. Now, if what exactly keeps us going is something I call hope. That is what keeps us alive. When you wake up in the morning, you have a hope that there's something you're expecting, a job you applied for, a vision you're trying to achieve, a contract you're bidding for, things you want to do for your parents, something you want to do for your spouse, and whatever it is, there is something that is keeping you going. There is something that's on your mind. When you wake up in the morning, you want to get something. So you find out that when you have your life in the future, it gives direction to what you do in the present, right? When you have your life in the future, it gives direction to what you do in the present. One of the things I usually tell young people is to have a futuristic approach towards things. That is, be futuristic in your thinking. When you're thinking about decisions to make, be futuristic about those decisions. The problem of living so much in the present is that you do not, um, should I say, you do not live a planned life. Statements like what will be will be. Statements like let's see how it goes. All right, in some cases. Statements like um, we don't have control. Let's just do what we can. Now, there is a side. Yesterday I talked about think today, not yesterday. There is a way to be present in your present that doesn't hinder you being a visionary person. All I'm simply talking about is to catch a vision for your life in simple terms. So whilst you are doing your every day, enjoying each day as it comes. All right, like I told you before previous day, that you should enjoy each day as it comes. Bring the sunshine, the beautiful things, the memories that you have in today, not staying locked in the past. You should also have something that you're anticipating in the future. I wrote a quote down here. So how it's supposed to be? It's supposed to be this way: forget the past, hold on to the present, and believe the future. Forget the past, hold on to the present, and believe the future. But then what do? We hold on to the past, we forget the present, and what? Without the future. Without the future. So I'll give you an example. I had plans for my Sunday. It was a Saturday. So Saturday night, I'd scribbled down some things. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. This was gonna happen. This was gonna happen. And then definitely now expectation is on my heart. I have a whole day planned out. I know, okay, these are the things I need to do. I have goals set out already. So I woke up in the morning on Sunday morning, and began to I began to think. My plan to wake up was, I was meant to wake up by 5:30 ish. I should have woken up by 5:30. But at the time I woke up, I checked the time. I'm like, okay, sorry, it's only 4:30. I woke up and I saw that, my goodness, it's not 4:30. I was soaking. I was feeling really, I was soaking on it, and I was there. Immediately, I caught myself and I said, no, Timothy, you're in control. You are in control. You're the one in control. So what did I do? I went back to my table, to my seat. I began to just scribble down, okay, so let's do this, change that, change this, change that. Okay, we're good to go. And I moved. So you find out that when you stay locked in the present, for example, if in that moment I allow myself to feel that way, it would have affected every other action going forward. So it's the same way. If you are not someone who is futuristic and visionary, you will make many mistakes even in the present. You will just do things in the moment of time. You'll be a person of the moment, just moments, moments. And if you build your life just on moments, you will not do as much as you should, or rather, things will happen to you. Now, there's another quote that goes to us. It says, some people, things happen to some people watch things happen, while there are those who make things happen. There are the people who make things happen. So, what this is about, is about bringing you into the percentage of people who make things happen, who do not just watch things happen, who do not just have things happen to them, but the people who make things happen. Who make things happen. It's by being visionary. And I want to talk about a mindset, or an approach to this. An approach to this. So when you're making choices, because the choices, your future is not something far. When you're young, you say, oh, in the future I want to be this, in the future I want to be that. My dear, now you're in the future. What are you? And it's just on a lighter note. I saw a guy, a meme. So there was a guy who was saying, oh, he's going to be, when I was in primary school, I want to be a doctor. When he was in secondary school, he changed me, I want to be an engineer. When he graduated from university, and then they saw his name somewhere, it was DJ Ebenezer. So from all the way from a dream of being a medical doctor to DJ Ebenezer. Well, being a DJ is not a bad thing. But looking at the distance between his dream and where he was, it was it was very far away, right? Very far away. So what am I trying to say? One thing you must learn to do is to know how to be futuristic, because there are those who are lost in the future and have no relevance in time, and I'm going to talk about that as well. Where you have someone who is visionary and is making a mess of the present moment. You're always just thinking tomorrow, okay, the future plans and all those things. I'll help you understand. So one thing I want you to, an approach to this, is to think about consequence. Let me write that down. Consequence. 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 One of the reasons why we make a lot of mistakes in our choices is because we do not critically think about the consequences. If you thought about the consequences of your actions much more, you'll make better decisions. I can assure you of that. If you thought about the consequences of your actions, you'll make better decisions. Like, you really sat down, you went through the thought process. Trust me, A large percentage of human beings do not actually think before they take steps. You'll be shocked to find out how many people think before they actually do things. You find out that there is such an impulsive response to situations, impulsive buying, impulsive talking, impulsive gestures, everything done on an impulse. So if you would actually make better decisions that gives you a bright future, you would have to critically think. Critical thinking talks about you, in simple terms, being intentional about your thoughts. You are thinking, you are going through the thought process of your actions. You're thinking, why do I have to do this? If I do this, what's the negative effect? If I do this, what's the positive effect? And is it really positive or is just in the moment? You know, when I get to talk to a lot of young people, and what really causes us to, because I'm a young person as well, what really causes us to go the length in engaging in some actions is because we're not really thinking about consequences. For example, if a guy says that, oh, if a guy says he likes women and maybe he sleeps around and all that, and maybe you're just feeling like you just want to know how it feels. And eventually you found a lady and they told you, oh, guy, this lady is free, anybody, anytime, any day. And then you were like, oh my God, that's good. Or maybe even just for you. And then you eventually said, but she has HIV, but she's free. I mean, anybody can. No matter what you're feeling in your system, it shuts down fast. Because what? In that moment, you have thought about the consequence. Yes, I'll get to have an affair with this lady. I mean, I satisfy the urge, but eventually I'll contact HIV. I'm not interested. But do you see something that happens now when we make other decisions that even have greater consequences? Is that we belittle the consequences of some actions that we make, thinking, we somehow, some way think in our mind that it won't matter. It won't matter. Take, for example, on the packet of a cigarette, it's boldly stated there, even with the diagram, peradventure you can't read, that says smokers, first off, it was smokers are liable to die young. Aside from that, they wrote smokers have a liability to have mouth cancer. But you know what they say? Well, it doesn't happen. Why would it be me? What's the probability that's going to be me? It's just a stick. Then the next day, it's just a stick. Then the next day, it's just a stick. But then when you think about the long-term effects of your current actions, then you would know, because it's like a ripple effect. All of a sudden, they diagnose a person in his 50s, his 60s of lung cancer, and he's going to church now and he's praying that he should cast and cast out any evil arrow that was fired to him. No, there was no arrow fired to you. You have been smoking for the past 30 years. So it's just an accumulated effect. While some people reap the consequence in the moment, some other people it's ahead, like he waits for them, it's in future. So you don't want to be that kind of person. Not at all. You don't want to be that person whose ripple effect or actions, because there's always the law of compound effect works either positively or negatively. It works. That's exactly what I'm. So the consequences. Think of the consequence of your actions. What is this going to result in? Would she like it if I say this? Would he want to hear this? If I do this, what's going to happen? Think about it. Think about it. So consequence of actions. If we did that much more, I promise you, we'd make better decisions. But we are very impulsive in our actions. I mean, we are human beings, impulsive behaviors. But you want to live as a superhuman, if I would say, which is supposed to be the regular human nature, to be able to pause for a while before you run. All right, hold your horses. Hold your horses. Do not just get on the road and move. If it comes to mind, think about the consequence. The second thing I want to talk about is the law of compound effect. The law of compound effect. So I read a book and I recommend that book to you. It's by can I remember now? I think Daniel Hardy. I think Daniel Hardy. The law of compound effects. That book really helped me understand how time works. That is the compounding nature of our choices. You know, if you're, for example, if you're trying to save some money, which is usually the example that is used most of the times, but I would apply that in other situations. And let me say now you're trying to lose weight, and then you go to the gym the first day, it looks like nothing happened. Second day, first week, second week, third week. I can assure you by the fourth week, there's some, from the first day, there were things happening, but that were not visible to the eye. There were, there were some cholesterols that were calories rather, there were some calories that were burnt, but you did not see that effect immediately. But in the process of time, the the reality begins to show. It begins to show. It begins to, you begin to see it. You begin to understand. Oh, this is what's been happening, and that is the law of compound effect. It works negatively and positively. So in whatever venture that you're doing, if it's worth it, if it's a worthy venture, anything good takes time. Dear young adults, anything good takes time. Do not just be in a haste to get things done, or you want to get money sharp, get this done sharp. We live in a microwave generation where everything must be done immediately. Do not just be stuck in the present, be futuristic in your thinking. I found out that those who think about the future do exploit in the present. So whilst you are amazed by what they did right now, they have lived in the amazement before it happened. So you, it's just becoming a reality to you. You know, I went to a school that was very visionary, where we would have statements like vision 10 of 10, 10 of 1 of 10 in 10. That is, the school was going to be amongst the first 10 schools in the world in 10 years. That was up 2012. And it was such a vision that was driving everybody, and that's what has brought the school to where it is right now. I mean, where posters are put everywhere, and that's how you want to live your life. Live with imaginations and pictures of the future you want to see. You know that statement, that rhyme. Yeah, I'm going to use it. If you cannot picture, it says, your vision is the picture of the future that you must feature in, and all those things. But really, it's about you thinking in depthly, right? Thinking in depthly and making the choices that help and further your progress. So think compound effect. Do not just think about what you can take now, right here, right now. Think about what can happen in 10 years, in 15 years, in 20 years. So think long term, not short term. Yes, there are moments where you want to think, I already told you that, being in the present and not in the past, but there's also the necessity of being in tomorrow. If you're the kind of person who has a hold of tomorrow, nothing comes at you at a shock. It's just like, and that's the law that guides chess, the game of chess. You know, your ability to anticipate the player's next move is your winning point. Your ability to anticipate, your ability to predict rather, to predict your players, your opponent's next move is your strategy, is your winning point. You're able to know, okay, if I move this, he's going to move, he has a tendency to move this, then I'll move this and capture his pieces. So that way, you're even willing to forego some pieces because of a greater good. That's a very clear picture of what I'm asking you to do. Where in the moment, you know that, okay, I can forego this pleasure, I can let this go because I know there's something greater in front, there's something better, there's something to earn. So losing this would not matter. That's what happens when you are able to think long term. You know that it's not a loss, it's a loss for a greater gain. Think the law of compound effect. So I've spoken about two things. I've spoken about you thinking in consequence, thinking about the consequence of your actions, and I've spoken about the second thing, which is the law of compound effect, where you are looking at the compounded nature of all your actions. Now, the last thing I want to mention to you is your ability to set goals. Set goals. Set goals. Put goals in place. Set goals. What if you are, there's this quote that goes like this. It says, if you're living without a goal, you're a goat. Now you understand why I chuckled before I said it. If you're living without a goal, you're a goat. It's a ghost that just wakes up. A ghost has no direction. They know not where they are going. Let me use KJV. They are not aware of where they are going. They're just moving. Anywhere they see grass, they see water, and they see their older friends, and they bleed, and then they're just going, just going. Some way, somehow, I don't know how they find their way back to where they are coming from. Your friends just say, bro, my guy, where we go? And then we stand up, and you're going. To where? We'll just go out, and then you're going. Nowhere. Live with a goal in place. When you have goals, when you live with goals, you are more likely to be successful. You are more likely to be successful. Live with goals. Live with goals. For example, why I'm waking up every morning, coming here to do this, is because there is a goal in my mind. So when I think about my tomorrow, I know that okay, I have this to do, and it's for a greater good. There's just yesterday I was thinking about quite a number of things I was having my hands on, and the only thing that made it count was because there was an ultimate goal to achieve. There was a greater good ahead. So though it may take time, it might take my energy, take my attention, but I'm willing to put it in because it holds a greater good. I'll just need to be extra disciplined. I'll just need to be more stringent in my time. And that's something that makes for a life. There's not one successful person who did not need to make sacrifices. There's not one successful person who lived without the future. It's companies like Apple that make the most. It's companies like Apple that make the most. And then you find them with innovative ideas, with exploits, with so many things they've done simply because they had their minds, their CEOs right in tomorrow. When other people were trying to catch up, they were already in front. So the innovations or the rewards that they benefit are no surprise to them because they've already lived in the moment of that. So as a human being, as a person, you must learn to be futuristic in your thinking. As a young person, be futuristic, have plans, have visions, be a visionary person. All right, be a visionary person. One thing vision does to you is that it stands in tomorrow and pulls you in today. So you are moving, not just move, you're not just making movements, making motions, but you're actually making progress. Listen to me. You are moving, not just making motions, but you're actually making progress. Thinking tomorrow helps you to make progress, not motions. You can be busy here and there doing stuff without any vision, any plan. But then if you take the extra step to map out a vision for your life, a plan for your tomorrow, eventually you've set yourself on a better trajectory where you have a higher tendency of attaining success than the regular person. That's a lot for today. So number one, I told you, think about consequences, the consequences of your choices. Number two, I told you the law of compound effect. That is, the things you do consistently over time will amount to so much eventually in any respect, in money, in activities, and it works then negatively or positively. So be careful of the things that you're doing. They're going to compound. And number three, being visionary, being a person who sets goals and you run with those goals. All right. So that's so much for thinking tomorrow and not today. If this helped you in any way, I want you to leave a comment. I want you to share this. I want you to just do this together. All right. So I already created a playlist. This is going to join the playlist as well. So you can already just go through day 1, 2, 3, 4 down to today until the rest of the days. So if this is your first video you're seeing, like I said earlier, please go watch the others and help yourself with it. It's a good treat. It's a good treat to give to yourself. As usual, I'm the Rabbi, your number one cheerleader. I would always be cheering you, alright, because I believe that there is a purpose on your life that needs to be achieved and you need the right mental framework to get all those things done. So I'll be seeing you tomorrow 6:30 to 7. Alright, till then, stay close.